things that we're used to kind of getting really stressed out about, none of that exists anymore. And the only way to play something wrong is by being selfish, right? That's the only bad thing you can do.
Most of us are always trying to find something that not necessarily hasn't been done before, but that we haven't liked before, if I can put it that way. And it's, when you stumble across something at first, you may not think it's important, but sometimes it can be. And if you know the end result of what you're trying to achieve whilst you're experimenting musically, it can become quite exciting, because then you're on a journey somewhere. You either share that journey with somebody else, or it's your own journey, your own personal experience you're having.
My name is Alexander Hunter. I'm a composition lecturer here at the ANU School of Music. I convene the Open School, the pre-tertiary program, and direct the experimental music studio and new music ensemble. There's always been a new music ensemble at ANU. I think even a few years before all that happened, Music for 18, which, the big Steve Reich thing, was performed in this place. Like every other decent school of music has all these stories of people destroying pianos in concerts in the 70s, and that was very trendy. So that kind of infrastructure did exist, there just wasn't, and the students existed, there just wasn't someone to kind of put them in the same place at the same time. So it was relatively easy to get it started again. The composers that are active at the School of Music are also in the New Music Ensemble. They're just kind of performer composers, so they play each other's works, organize concerts together. We have a number of concert series that are organized by these composer performers. So it's a very kind of student-run program, and those kinds of experiences of composing things, performing things, and organizing concerts, that kind of three-pronged, this is what you need to know how to do in order to be successful once you leave this building. So I sort of let them organize, or encourage them to organize their own events, performing each other's works. 'Cause that's what they're going to need to do in a couple of years when they leave.
My name's Andrew Farriss, and I'm the Coombs Fellow for 2015 here at the ANU. Mainstream culture is a continually evolving thing, and I'm not sure that there is anyone who really is completely across everything that's happening. But I actually think that's really healthy in a funny way. I think it's quite exciting.
This last year, the New Music Ensemble is, certainly compared to other School of Music ensembles, ridiculously busy. I think in March they had 7 performances, including 2 local festivals.
You learn to learn music in a short period of time. You learn to think outside of normal playing performance techniques, so extended technique on the piano. And there's a real focus on sound rather than ego, I think, which is really important and can be easily lost.
Here at the ANU, I've seen quite a lot of experimentation, and not just in technology. I've seen it also, with sort of low tech, if I can call it that. Also, toy ensemble where Charles Martin was working over there in PK building, and also he was also doing really interesting. Or they have a room over there, a special listening room that has speakers up above you in sort of quad, and then 4 speakers on the ground in quad, and they're doing all that sort of thing with iPads, and very interesting actually. I think new music, technology, experimentation, new instruments, the idea of trying different things, it all plays a part in catching someone's attention. If you hear a new sound or even an effect, it could even be a subtle thing. I mean, you're not just listening to the sound or the music or whatever, you're taking the whole sensory experience in, and it becomes a combination. And that in itself is a crossover, isn't it? Performed at times in my career on some of the smallest and biggest stages in the world. Many of them you would have heard of, and we were very conscious of having to have some sort of visual behind us as we were performing. And I've watched many other artists, particularly in Wembley Stadium when I lived in England, and I watched some very, very big artists at the time, through from Rolling Stones to Tina Turner to Michael Jackson, and because we performed there with our group too. And it's 80,000 people, and you know that you have to put on something behind. You can't just have the music in that sense, you have to have the lighting, or you have to have, or visuals.
I think the thing that we do best, and certainly from what I've heard and seen in this country, the thing that we do better than anyone else at the moment is free improvisation. I mean, the Chamber Music Prize last year went to the Free Improvisation Ensemble. I think the YouTube channel is about 80% experimental music studio. So certainly that our students are as good or better at that kind of music than anyone else in the country. And
I think that there's a lot of music of old being performed at the cost of new music. So, yeah, I think it's really important, in my opinion, to keep playing new works.
Well, if you're a composer, you should be talking to other composers, and whether that composer works with power chords or DIY electronics or whatever, you're all sort of asking similar questions and doing similar things and at similar stages, and you should all be exchanging ideas. And I think certainly there's been a significant amount of evidence, and actually Aaron and our colleague Stephanie McCallum at Sydney and myself gave a paper at a conference in London earlier this year on the ways in which the gestures and skills musicians develop in free improvisation can influence their playing in other styles. I mean, my favorite new music ensemble moments are when the students take the initiative and organize their own events. And at this point, they've been doing it long enough that they kind of know what to do, and they get scores and they look at things and they do their own research and they contact composers, composers in the UK that they've been in touch with and getting scores and sending videos back and forth. Kate Moore, the alumna who came and gave some seminars and worked with the New Music Ensemble on some student works, gave us a very big compliment, which is that this ensemble would fit in very well in The Hague, right, which is one of the centers for this sort of music, which was a great compliment to the students and their hard work.